morning guys, welcome to another Friday Waffle. Weather up here is absolutely atrocious. It's been kind of heavy fog the last few days. So anyway, where did I start? Well, I suppose I couldn't not mention the referendum. As most people will probably know by now, we voted a no. Now I voted yes. I'm proud to be Scottish and I'm also proud to be British, but I went with my heart. I did think that, you know, every country, if given the choice, would want to be in charge of its own, in charge of itself basically. So I went with my heart and I voted yes, but obviously the majority of people went with the sort of no decision. So I completely respect that. At the end of the day, I'm happy that the majority of people in Scotland have decided one way or the other, so I'm going to get on with it. So yep, it was a big decision and I says it's been taken, but to be perfectly honest with you guys, I'm quite glad now that it's in the past, because you know, anyone that goes on Facebook etc, yeah, that's all you were getting, and there was a lot of kind of bitterness and sort of nastiness and poison and stupid words being said with people. So anyway, that's that. What have I been up to in this last 7 days gaming wise? Been playing Hammering Castle Wolfenstein in New Order. Love it. It's quite a simple game, but I'm really enjoying it. I enjoy the atmosphere of the game. So I'm up to disc number 2. Is it disc number 2 or disc number 3? Disc number 3 actually. I'm on disc number 3. Yeah, because the first disc installs itself. So I'm on disc number 3. So I don't know how far I'm in it. I'm maybe about, I don't know, 5 or 6 hours into the game. I think it's about 20 hours all in, I've been told. But yeah, thoroughly enjoying that. That is about it from a gaming perspective. Before I start on my subjects, excuse me, I just want to do a quick thank you to John, who's also known as is it Colonel Dwayne Hicks, or it's CPL Dwayne Hicks, a fellow YouTuber. John kindly offered to make me a new banner for my YouTube channel, and I think what he's come up with is fantastic. It's certainly a bit brighter than the plain black background that I had before. So thanks to John for that. I really appreciate it, mate. I think it looks really good. What else? I've got a couple of pickups I'm going to show you. Just give me 2 seconds. Back in a tick. Sorry about that guys, the battery just depleted itself. Yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, my daughter got the Wii U for Christmas, and I'm going to be saying, I just need to do something. That's it. Yeah, she got the Wii U for Christmas and she played it a lot. I would probably say for the first maybe 2-3 months, and she played it again when she got Mario Kart 8. But I have to say, over the last, I don't know, 4 months, 3-4 months, whatever it is, it's largely laying unused. In fact, she couldn't even tell me the last time it was switched on. Now, there's a lot of games in the Wii U which I quite fancied. Is it Zombie U? Is it called that? It's a kind of Resident Evil type zombie game. It's meant to be really scary. I've always fancied that, but you know what? I didn't get it because A, it's in her bedroom, and B, it's her console. But I did say to her the other day, I says, look, you're not playing it, are you? Nah. So I says, look, why don't we move it into the games room? That way you can play it if you want to, and I can get to use it as well. So she agreed to that. The only one little caveat that she put in was she got herself, or I bought I should say, Animal Crossing on the 3DS, so she's been caning that a lot. So she said to me, well Daddy, says, if you've got my Wii U, can I get your 3DS? I says, look, at the end of the day, I says, everything in this room will be yours at one point, so everything that belongs to me belongs to you. So she's quite happy. She's got the 3DS in her bedroom, I've got a Wii U with some fantastic games, so I'm looking forward to caning that. Other pickups, yeah, what did I do? The other one, where is it? There it is. Now, there was the VR response about what game would you like boxed and complete, and the game I came up with, which I didn't actually have, is this. It's International Soccer on the Commodore 64. this is, well, it's not the one obviously, but this is the version I had. This was the one that first came out when did it come out? I'm guessing 1983, 1984. It's got the instructions, I think. I mean, the box is pretty tatty, but you know what, the fact that the box is even in one piece is testament, you know what I mean, is quite incredible. Yep, you've got the cartridge. And we have, you know what, one thing I love about old games and stuff is the smell. It just smells old. Fantastic. Yeah, there we go, international soccer. Fantastic. I absolutely love this game. Now, I haven't really bought this game to play. I know it sounds stupid, because I've got the game, I could play it on my C64. I just wanted, after I made that VR, it got me thinking. I thought that is one game that I would like to actually own, just to have, because it's part of history. It's the game that really endeared me to the C64 and video games in general, and you know, the rest, as they say, is history. If it wasn't for the C64, then I wouldn't be sitting here making videos on YouTube and whatever, you know. So yep. How the hell does that go back in? Alright, it's got to go in there. Yeah, so I picked that up. Got it for I must admit, I mean, I've bought quite a lot of stuff on eBay, but I've got to say that the guy that sold me this, he charged me, I got it for, was it £4 plus £2 postage. I got it within 2 days of buying it, and it was packaged and bubble wrapped to within an inch of its life, and the postage he put in it was something like £4.50, so he went over the top, or not over the top, he went beyond what I would expect. He paid double the postage that I had actually given him. So absolutely cracking eBay, left him good feedback. So yeah, what's interesting there on the back of this, it says Commodore Business Machines, Trading Estate Slough. Is that not where the office was filmed? I think it was. So yeah, international soccer. And the last thing, what I bought, or what I got, is one of these. It's a big fuck off joystick, or it's not a joystick, it's a steering wheel. Now, somebody in Gumtree was selling this for 15 quid, and I thought it looked too good to be true. It was a guy who lived literally 2 minutes from where I stayed. So I went up, bought it, came back down the road. Actually, I mean, it's got, it doesn't matter, it's got the foot pedal, it's got the brake, and it's got the accelerator. I thought to myself, how good is it going to be for 15 quid? Now, I've got to say, it weighs, it's pretty heavy. The steering wheel feels really weighty. You can probably see there, you know, I can hardly hold it still when the steering wheel locks into place. It's got a really nice feel, it's got all the buttons. Now, these are plastic obviously, but it looks cracking. Underneath you've got these, you've got the various buttons and that in the front. So anyway, and it's also kind of looks like a car from the front. I don't know what, I'm guessing that's deliberate. Pardon me. And what I like about it, can you see here? It's at the front here, when you press the accelerator, you see the wee lights here, they actually move up depending on how much you're actually pressing on it. So you've got a visual indicator of how far you've actually pressed it. And likewise for the brake, you've got this little visual indicator thing here as well. And you've also got up, down and reverse. So yeah, it's a really well made joystick. So naturally I was a bit suspicious about how good it was. After I googled it, I thought to myself, well, that's £15 that I'll never get back again. It was getting 1 and 2 stars on Amazon. People were saying they couldn't get it working properly. They were saying they couldn't get it connected to the Xbox. They were saying it was connecting, then it was disconnected, whatever. So I thought, bollocks, you know what, I can always punt it back on eBay and just, you know, sell it for what it is. But I thought I'll give it a try anyway. So after I plugged it in, couldn't get it to recognise it on the 360, downloaded an update and connected it up first time, tried Outrun, what did I try? Project Gotham. Absolutely fantastic. I was playing Outrun, the new Outrun on the 360 for about an hour, and it just feels fantastic. You know, you've got the accelerator, you've got the brake, You've got the really good, you know, it's got a vibration thing as well built into it. But it's just, it feels so solid, and it really feels like you're playing an arcade one. So absolutely delighted with it. 15 quid, you know, really made up with that. So yep, that's pickups, guys. So on to the topics. Now, as I keep repeating myself, I tend to find, I mean, I've had other things taking up my time this week. I tend to find I get to a Friday or a Thursday night and I haven't thought of anything to talk about, and I hastily try and think of stuff. But I've got a few bits and pieces down here, guys. So hopefully you can bear with me and we'll go through them. So right, the first one. Now this one came about because, in fact, it came about because I was playing Castle Wolfenstein. Now I think people have spoke about this at great length previously on Gumtree, on, what do you call it, YouTube. Have you ever been stuck in a game and you simply can't get past it? Now I've lost count the number of games, you know, current gen. When I say current gen, I mean the Xbox 360, whatever it is, even, you know, PlayStation 2 and that kind of stuff, Xbox. I've lost count the number of games that I get to a particular stage, and no matter how many times you try and get past this level, you just simply can't do it. With me, it gets to a point, it no longer becomes challenging, it just becomes a bloody pain in the arse. And if I simply can't do it, then I end up giving up and just leaving the game. Examples are, in fact the best example was Bioshock, is it Infinite? Bioshock Infinity, whatever it's called. It's the latest Bioshock, came out about a year ago. I got to the very, very last level. You're basically on this sort of balloon. Yeah, you're in this big balloon thing, and you're getting attacked from left, right and centre. And I can play it for maybe 20 minutes, constantly fighting, then I die, then you go right back to start again. And I've probably, I've probably played that level, 20, 30, 40 times maybe. And I've just reached the point now, I'm completely sick of it. I've not played it for 6 months. I may return to it, have another crack at it, but it's just got to the stage now, I can't be arsed with it, because I've not got the patience to keep playing it, to try and do something different, because it's just so difficult. I've even changed the difficulty level down to, I think it's easy, and I can't get past it. Now that probably says more about my lack of skill at games, current gen games, than the actual game itself. But yeah, there's that one. What else have I got? Killzone, the new Killzone in the PS4. I'm at a level again, I just can't get past it, and I can play it for 10-15 minutes and I die, then you go right back to the start again. So yeah, that's something it's always existed in games. Even in 8-bit games there's always a level you can't get past. But the thing is, back then you were paying 6, 7, 8, 10 quid for a game. It doesn't annoy me as such, but what I find frustrating is, you know, when you pay 40, 45 quid for a game and you get to a level and it gets to a point it's no longer even enjoyable, it becomes a chore. You get to a level and you simply can't get past it, and you end up leaving it. So you're effectively leaving a game half finished that you can't finish. So, you know, you've not had your money's worth. Now what I used to like about back in the day, even on the PlayStation 2 and that kind of stuff, you used to have cheat modes. You could type in, you know, codes, whatever, hold down buttons, press buttons in a certain sort of manner to unlock cheats, infinite energy. I mean, Doom was a great example. You typed in, was it God mode? I can't remember exactly what it was, but you basically had God mode where you became invulnerable, you had infinite weapons. So it meant that if you got to a level, you could do that and get past it. But for some reason, current games, I mean the sort of like the Xbox 360, the PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, you don't seem to get cheat modes anymore in games. Why is that? Is it to make you stop playing the game, you get fed up and you go and buy another game? Probably not. That's me just being cynical. But what I would love would be if they either gave you an option in a game to actually skip past the level, just skip past it, move on to the next level, or else why not build in a cheat mode? At the end of the day, nobody's telling you to use it. Why can't you build a cheat mode in so you can make yourself invulnerable to get past a particular bit, then you just take it back off again. I mean, I was playing, like I said, it was when I was playing, what do you call it? Castle Wolfenstein, or Wolfenstein the New Order. I got to this particular level and I was really struggling. However, I managed to get past it. What I did is I knocked it down to easy, got past it, and then I put it back up to normal again. But yeah, why can't they build? I think that would be great if they could build in some means that you could skip a level, because right now you get to a certain stage and you'll only play it so many times, get pissed off with it, then you call it a day. At least I do anyway. And I mean, I've lost count the number of games that I've had, and I get to a certain level and I give up. I think even the first Bioshock, I got to the very last level, and because you go up in a lift and you meet this guy, he's a sort of like the end of level guardian type thing. When I went up in a lift, it saved the game, and I only had a wee ball hairy energy, and it simply wasn't enough for me to get past it, and I couldn't go back before I went up in the lift. So it meant I was effectively stuck with a tiny wee bit of energy, and I was dying within seconds. So yeah, that was another game. But there's been loads of games, loads of kind of current gen games that I've simply got to a stage, can't get past it, and I've just had to accept that I'm never going to see the end of it, sort of thing. So yeah, I mean, there's just another thing following on from that. One of my favourite games is Resident Evil 4, initially on the GameCube and then latterly on the Wii. The Wii controller was excellent. What I loved about that game, I've managed to put the game onto a hard drive in the Wii, and you can put cheat modes on. Now I've completed the game twice. I've completed it twice, not cheating. You know, completed it on the GameCube, completed it on the Wii, But I then played it for a third time with infinite energy, infinite weapons, and it is absolutely hugely enjoyable playing through a game with infinite energy and just blasting the hell out of people. It's brilliant fun. I love that. I love the fact that you can do that. But again, that's not a built-in cheat. That's actually obviously a hack or whatever it is has added these cheats. So yeah, what's your thoughts, guys? Should developers give you the option to either skip a level or build in cheat modes? I would love to have that option, because then I would continue to play Killzone. At the moment, I've got to the stage, I can't get past it, so I've effectively I've not binned it, but it's sitting up there on the shelf and it's never likely to get used again. So give me your thoughts on that, guys. Now, where did my list go? How are we doing for time? Yeah, I've just got a wee timer thing, I don't want it to run on too much. Yeah, so adding in cheat modes. Now then, next one, what are your thoughts on games that appear to be online only? I was looking at, as most people have, Destiny. Now I'm not I was probably the only person in the world who didn't like Halo. I played the first Halo, in fact I played it very little, and then I got it on the 360 and you know whatever, and then I went back to play it on the Xbox because people had said to me, you're missing an absolute classic game, you need to play it. You know, they're going on about it was at the flood level and that kind of stuff. So I went back to play it on the Xbox, and I got to a certain point and then I saved it, whatever, and then I kind of never went back to it. So I'm not a big Halo fan, but anyway, this Destiny, I've been told it's effectively Halo for the sort of current gen, but I was disappointed to see, and I'm maybe talking bollocks, but from what I gather looking at stuff online, it's pretty much an online game only. Now, I've got the internet and that kind of stuff. I don't actually have Xbox Live. I've always had Xbox Live for the last, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 years, however long I've had my Xbox. But last year I renewed my Xbox Live membership. I renewed it, then I remember getting an email to say it had expired, and it dawned on me I'd renewed it, and for 12 months I didn't even touch it. So it was like 39, 40 quid, whatever it was, it cost me down the drain. So I thought, fuck it, I'm not going to renew it because I simply wasn't using it. So yeah, that has put me off, because apparently you can only really play it online. That's put me off buying it. It's the same with is it Plant vs Zombies? Monkey Spice, he's done a kind of playthrough of it. is it Chemical Warfare or some damn thing it's called. That's another game that apparently it's online only. So what are your thoughts, guys, on games that are online only? Can you not build in a one-player option? I mean, I suppose I can understand them making a game that is purely going to be online because, you know, it's going to offer different advantages, having multiple players all playing at once. And they obviously feel that that's the way they want their game to go. Their game has been devised to have multiple players, people playing at the same time. So maybe they didn't think, we don't want to put a one-player game in, but I certainly think with them doing that, issuing games that can't be played unless you're online, they're missing a trick. I don't believe for one second that I'm the only person that doesn't really. I wouldn't say I don't like playing online. That's nonsense. I used to play online a lot when I first got my 360, but over the last, say, 2-3 years, I've just kind of got out the habit of playing online. So online play doesn't really interest me. But because they're making games now that aren't really viable without you've got to go online, they're going to lose mass sales, or you know, there's going to be more than just myself that doesn't like that. So they're potentially losing out on potential customers. So should publishers always have a one-player game built into it? I don't know. It's not to say that they're not allowed to make a game that is online only, but yeah, I says when a game is online only, I tend to shy away from it. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, guys, but ping your comments down and let me know. I'm going to pause this, guys, before it cuts out. Hang on. Okay, back again. Yep, so let me know. Online games, online only games, thumbs down, thumbs up. I get a thumb down from me, I'm afraid. Right, this next one, it's just basically me mumbling a wee bit. I posted a video that was given to me from Jeff Minter, and it was basically taken from a 1980s computer show. I'm guessing it was probably down in the Earl's Court in London. Now, I must admit, when I watched it back again, it just made me all dewy-eyed and rose-coloured spectacles. It gave me a wee lump on my throat, and it made me remember and think about the old computer shows back in the day. Now I know things have moved on. Obviously, you've got all your replays and that kind of stuff. Now I was at replay and I was at the one in Manchester last year, and I was at the one in Blackpool this year. And as much as they're good, you know, you've got all these machines and that kind of stuff, they're completely different from the computer shows of old. I think the reason being is, well, the computer shows that you go to now, in the main, you're going along to play old games and maybe look at some new games. But back then, everything was new. There wasn't such a thing as an old game at a computer and video game show in Earl's Court. It was, you know, it was this cottage industry that had just kicked off, and there was all these different machines. There was, you know, I'm not even going to, well, let me think. I mean, there was tons and tons of publishers. There was Gremlin Graphics, there was Domart, there was Elite, there was Ocean, there was bloody Imagine, Software Projects, Ultimate, you name it, US Gold. All these companies, they all had stalls at these computer shows. And like the video that I posted, they would all have a couple of Spectrums, an Atari ST, an Amiga, a Commodore 64. They had all these machines all playing their latest games. And I don't know, it was a fantastic time. It was brilliant going down there. I mean, I have to say that the prices weren't any cheaper than going in a shop, but it was great. You really felt like you were seeing the future. You know, you would read about games coming out on Zap, and you're down there and you're getting to see the games at first hand, and you know, and you also got an opportunity to see like the celebs back in the day. You know, I mean, when I was doing the PCW show in London, there was the Zap guys. They had a stall. I think I saw Gary Liddon, I saw Jazz Rignall, Gary Penn, all these guys. Jeff Minter, you always saw Jeff floating about. So yeah, it was an opportunity to kind of see these people up kind of close and personal. But I don't know, it was a special time. I'd be really interested to know if any of you guys went to any of the sort of the 1980s computer shows. They were completely different from the computer shows nowadays, because nowadays it tends to be, I mean, these retro shows obviously that they have nowadays, they exist to give us opportunity and other people who probably didn't play them back in the time to play older systems, whereas back then the computer shows, it was they existed to give all these publishers an opportunity to let the paying public see their new games, and it was terribly exciting. It really was. They always had handouts you'd come away with. In fact, you know what? Up in my loft, actually, I'll need to bring it down, let you see it. I have got a bag, and it's luminous green, and it was from, was it Microdeal, and it was Fright Night that came out on the Atari ST and Commodore Amiga, and I've got a Fright Night bag, poly bag, just a polythene bag. Know that I could get a couple of £1,000 on eBay for it, but yeah, it's one of these things that, But yeah, what's your thoughts, guys? Did any of you guys go to the sort of the classic computer shows down in Earl's Court? I'm trying to think where else. Was it the Olympia in London? I never went there. The two that I went to, I think it was 1987, 1988. They were both down in Earl's Court. It was great because it was, I mean, for a Scottish person like myself, it was a bit of it was an adventure. You'd have to get the bus. Back then, teenager, didn't have much money. You would get the bus at midnight in Edinburgh, drive down, arrive in London at, I don't know, 6 o'clock in the morning, and then you'd make your way to Earl's Court and hang about for it to open up, and then you got in. But yeah, brilliant times. I absolutely loved them. I mean, the memories I've got back then, and they would have like games running on big screens and competitions and that. And I think it was at Games Master, the Games Master TV programme. They used to have Games Master Live with Dominic Diamond. I never went to any of these shows, but I'm guessing they were probably good fun as well. So anyway, give me your thoughts, guys. If you want to do a VR response, did you ever go to any of the computer shows back in the day? And let me know. So yep, that is that one, guys. How are we doing for time? Okay. Right, this next one. How many hours a week do you actually play video games? Now, I make podcasts. I'm a member, as I've mentioned every time I make one of these bloody waffles, I'm a member of a local computer retro club. Now, we knock out a podcast once a month, and one of the things that we were talking about was one of the things that we talk about in the podcast. I always ask the other two guys or three guys what they've been up to. And they are massive retro fans like myself. They've got huge big collections, and what comes across is how little retro fans, maybe older retro fans, I don't know, actually play games. And it got me thinking about, I'm the same. I mean, I've got, Christ knows, I don't know how many. I've probably, now that I've got the Wii U, I've probably got 20 plus systems in this little room of mine that I can play. I've got tens of thousands of games. If I start counting ROMs, then I've literally got tens of thousands of games I can play. But I actually play very, very little games, and it's not because I don't have the time. And maybe it is that. I mean, I know as a kid, when I was 16, 17 years old, whatever I was, you were off for the school holidays. You didn't have any responsibilities. You didn't have any kids to look after. You didn't have any. You didn't have a job. You were just, when you went to school, you had bugger all to do. So you had all this free time. So when you got back from school at whatever time it was, 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, that was you. You had not all this time in the world, to play with your pals, and in my case, play the bloody computer. So you had time to invest in games, which obviously got you into them, and you would play them more, sort of thing. But yeah, just as I've gotten older, I certainly play less games, but I wouldn't give any of these systems up for anything. I still absolutely love having them. I love the fact that if the desire takes me and I decide I want to play Tempest is it Tempest 2000? Yeah, Tempest 2000. No, it's just called Tempest actually. If I want to play Tempest on Atari Jaguar, I'll bloody well go up there, plug the cartridge and then play it on the Jaguar. I like having that option. But I actually play very little games. What I've actually found, the older I've got, and especially since my kind of collection's growing, I just enjoy the whole games, nostalgia, retro gaming experience. I mean, I'm sitting here talking to you in a camera about games. I'm not playing games as I'm doing this, I'm just talking to you about it. But I love talking about games. I watch a lot of YouTube videos. I've got a lot of people that I subscribe to. I just love hearing people talking about video games. I like watching people playing video games. I mean, call me a sad bugger, but when I make one of my videos, my mashups, I'm the first person to watch the video. A, I watch it just to make sure it looks alright, and B, I actually enjoy watching it. Now, whether it's Steve Benway or Monkey Spaz or Chris Shank or whoever's playing it, or whether it's me playing a game, it doesn't bother me. I just enjoy watching games getting played. And even this waffle, I'll listen to this later on. I enjoy listening to people talking about games, forgetting the fact it's myself that's talking about them. As I was, I think I showed you my Atari 800. I'm looking to the side because it's in there just so I can see it. When I was showed you my Atari 800, the original one that I got a lot of like paraphernalia, magazines, what the hell do you call it? Catalogues and that kind of stuff for it. I love all that stuff. I love really old computer magazines. When I got a big bundle of like, there were magazines from the early 1980s. I just love wallowing in the whole retro gaming thing. You know, forgetting the fact I'm not playing games. To me that's irrelevant. I just love reading about them, looking at them, reading magazines about them. In fact, I'm going to pause and just let you see something actually. Back in a tick, guys. Okay, talking about sort of magazines and that kind of stuff. Now, in my hand here is a piece of paper. Well, it's actually a magazine, which this particular copy, well, it wasn't this exact one. I actually bought this about a year ago on eBay. This particular magazine is what kick-started this thing for me, computer games, and it's this, I hope you can see that, the home computer course. It's one of these things, who made it? Orbis. It's one of these things, you know, buy part 1 for 99 pence and thereafter £10.99. So yeah, this was a home computer course and it was titled Mastering Your Home Computer. And basically it was a magazine and it was just all about what is a computer, etc. Now this particular page here, I don't know if you can see that, hopefully you can. It basically shows, and this lets you see the range of computers that you had back in the day. I mean, now what have you got? You've got the Xbone, you've got the PS4 and you've got the Wii U, and that is your lot. Back in the day we had the Atari 800, which was £150. The Atari 400. You had the Atari 800, which was £300. You had the BBC Micro, which was £399. Colour Genie, Commodore 64, VIC 20, Dragon 32, the Epson HX20, whatever the hell that is, the Jupiter Ace for 90 quid. Yeah, I wouldn't have made one of them for £90. They go for £200-300 now. The Lynx, I would love to get a Lynx. I think Steve Benway's got a Lynx. I've never seen them go on eBay at all. The New Brain, the Auric one, Sinclair ZX81, Sinclair Spectrum, the Sword M5, again, I think that was a Japanese computer, and the Texas T1999. So anyway, yeah, I lovingly flicked through this magazine for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks until my mum and dad decided to actually buy me one. So yeah, this home computer course, that was a double issue. You got issue 1 and 2 at the start. Issue 3 was the Commodore 64. Now see, this is what I mean. These kind of things. What does it actually say here? This is a binder offer for the home computer course. See attached order form for a special binder offer. Wonder if I send that off if I'll actually get one. Yep, issue 4. I'm hoping you can see these. Bloody hell, look at the size of that one. Issue 6, that's a bloody tank they're looking at. I wonder what computer that was. Yeah, I'm not going to go through every single one of these, but yeah, there's right up to, was it number 12 I think it was. So yeah, I love these, I absolutely love, I just love spending time looking at stuff like this, more than actually playing games. Don't get me wrong, I still love firing up my main cab, playing, you know, my PS4 and that kind of stuff, but I certainly spend more time just enjoying the hobby, reading about games, watching games, etc., than actually playing the damn things. So anyway, yeah, I'm kind of waffling a bit, guys. I'm conscious of the time. Am I finished yet? Hopefully. Right, the very last one. Are new genres a thing of the past? Now, what do I mean by that? I mean, obviously back in the day, there was, you know, when it was a new industry, then it was like a blank canvas. Every game that came out was a new genre, it was original, you know. I mean, obviously Ultimate, I mean there was platform games, there was sports games, joystick wagglers, Ultimate obviously moved the goalposts when they brought out the sort of the pseudo 3D night lore, these type of things. And obviously as hardware has progressed, the number of genres that are actually available seems to have kind of dissipated, unfortunately. Now, if you look through any, if you randomly picked, I don't know, 50 games, pardon me, 50 games on the Xbox 360, I would guess, I don't know, I would guess the majority of them are going to be first person shooters. There's going to be some driving games, a couple of wrestling games maybe, some sports games, football games, whatever. But yeah, the games, I mean, I suppose you could probably say that every game that's ever existed is the same, because at the end of the day you're controlling a sprite or you're controlling something on a screen, so it's really no different. You're just using your thumb or your hand to move something up and down, so they're all really the same. But yeah, 99% of games for current gen now, they seem to be first person shooters. I mean, Watch Dogs, it's tried to be innovative. I can't even say the word, you know what I mean. It's tried to be original, by you're allowed to actually take over cameras. You know, you can interact in the game from remote, using sort of remote cameras and that kind of stuff. So that's trying to kind of bolt on this extra mechanic. But 99% of games now seem to just be, you know, run about, shoot something, press a button, run back to another area, open up a door, go through, kill something. Now, I don't know if you can hear that. It's a handheld LCD game that I've got, and it always sets alarm off, and I've never figured out how to turn the bloody thing off. It annoys it. I've actually put it in that cupboard so I don't hear it. But yeah, there's very little creativity now coming into the gaming. What about that, guys? Yeah, another battery failure. I'm absolutely pants when it comes to being prepared to make these things. I could edit this out, but you know what, bollocks. You get what you get with me. Now, where was I? Yeah, I'm talking about creativity in games. So the run-of-the-mill games in the current gen seems to be first-person shooters, football games, driving games. Don't get me wrong. I mean, going back to an earlier point I was talking about, with online gaming now, you know, we can now take part or play in a living world like Grand Theft Auto 5. I was watching a DVD. I was watching a YouTube video of a group of guys, obviously all playing online at Grand Theft Auto 5, and they were taking it. They were trying to jump over buses, driving motorbikes, cars, lorries, or even had a bus try to jump over the buses, all that kind of stuff, a guy in a moped. So yeah, I mean, it's absolutely phenomenal where technology is taking us. You know, the things that we can now play in a living, breathing world with somebody from China, somebody from bloody, I don't know, New Zealand, wherever, anywhere in the world. So yeah, that aspect, the technology aspect, is phenomenal. But the actual variety of game genres, to my mind, isn't quite what it used to be. I mean, God bless him, Peter Molyneux, he gets a lot of criticism, but he really pushed the boat out when it came to innovative games. There you go. You know, populous, black and white, although that was a bit of a failure. You know, God type games. You don't seem to get. Is there as many God type games doing the rounds now? I'm not aware of them. I mean, you had your Civilizations, Populous, the Settlers, all these kind of games. They seem to have kind of dried up. Maybe they don't think that they work in consoles, I don't know. Maybe they think that console owners only want action games, you know, shooting games, driving games. Again, obviously, like driving games, I've been watching some of the videos for some of the new games like club driving, that kind of stuff. And yeah, the technology is allowing things like, you know, weather, rain, wind, whatever it is you want, but actual creativity in games seems to be lacking a wee bit. I mean, I was mentioning in a previous video, like, one of my favourite genres is shoot 'em ups. Now, bar one or two indie developers making shoot 'em ups, it's not really a genre that really is made anymore. Maybe because, you know, kids of a certain age, you know, 20, 30, 20 years old, whatever, they don't want to play shoot 'em ups. They would rather play the latest Call of Duty. You know, whereas old farts like me want things like shoot 'em ups. So maybe there's not a market for shoot 'em ups. Then you've got games like joystick wagglers. That's one of my favourite genres. Again, it's probably far too simplistic for this kind of current generation, so you don't get these anymore. Now, one thing that they have tried to do, and well, I'll be honest, I think they've failed, is motion controls. Now, when the Wii first came out, you couldn't get one for love nor money. I mean, I managed to get a hold of a Wii U, I don't know, maybe a few months after they came out. But I remember it was Christmas, I don't know what the hell it was, Christmas 2009 or something, I don't know when it was. You couldn't get them for love nor money. People were paying £400 for one. And it was all because of this Wii remote, you know, you waggled the thing about. Now, I've played a lot of Wii games, and yeah, one of the best games, probably there's two excellent games on the Wii that utilise the controls, and they're both by Nintendo. There's Wii Sports and there's Wii, what's it called? Not Wii Sports Island Paradise. Wii Sports Island, is it called? And they're fantastic, absolutely brilliant. You're playing table tennis, and you know, you're using your wrist to flick the ball and put topspin. It does work, absolutely fantastic. But unfortunately, 99% of the games didn't utilise the motion controls. Apart from things like Zelda, where you maybe, to open a door, you had to go like that. Now, you know, I'm not interested in doing that. That's not creative. That doesn't add anything to the game. It's just a pain in the arse. In fact, what I actually found out was, like, a lot of people, when you're playing Wii Sports, it was to encourage you to stand up and, you know, play football with granny and all that kind of nonsense. But you could actually discover you could actually sit on your couch and still just use your wrist and play the game sitting down. So yeah, that very quickly the Wii motion controller kind of became obsolete. Then obviously they brought out, what did they bring out? They brought out iToy in the PS3, which bar the one game that I can recall, is it iPay or some damn thing? I can't remember any other sort of iToy type things. Then you got, excuse me, I've got a terrible habit of biting my nails. Then obviously the PS4 has got a camera. Now I resisted buying the camera when I got my PS4 because I thought I want to see if it catches on. Now I've got a mate who bought the camera and it's covered in dust. He says he's never used it other than that robot demo thing. So yeah, the technology is there, and if it was used properly, it opens up all manner of opportunities in games. But the problem was I had, what was the name of the one in the Xbox? The Kinect, that's it, the Kinect. I got a Kinect second hand and I used it twice, because for me to use the Kinect I had to virtually clear my living room of furniture. You had to have so much room to use the thing. Now I'm not, my house isn't particularly small and it's not particularly big, it's an average size house, but I needed to move the settee and everything to actually use the thing. So until they come up with some sort of technology that allows you to do movement in a limited space, at the end of the day when you think about it guys, motion control, you know, whether you press A on a controller or go like that with your wrist, is that really adding anything to the experience? I don't really think so. I'm looking forward to when things like Oculus Rift and the Sony thing take off. I think that could be pretty groundbreaking. It's going to be amazing. I've never actually tried it. I do have Google Cardboard, which is quite impressive. £6 from Japan, thanks very much. So yeah, I'm looking forward. I think Oculus Rift, if it takes off, excuse me, it seems to have been on the go for about 2 years. Where is it? Apparently there's a second generation that's coming out, so hopefully, I think they're expecting to make it commercially available in the next couple of years, or this year I think actually. And I'm planning to get a new computer next year, so I'll definitely make a point of buying one that's capable of running Oculus Rift. So yeah, you've got the Oculus Rift sort of 3D type thing, but as far as actual game types is concerned, I can't think of anything that's really pushed the boundaries. First person shooters, role playing games, to me they're the same thing you're on about. Don't get me wrong, the sandbox games is something that the current gen has opened up, you know, with the PS3, Xbox 360, you've now got the technology to run about in sort of living kind of worlds and that kind of stuff, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, is there a type of genre that you would like to see? Is there a type of genre that you'd like to see make a comeback? Like I said, I'd love to have joystick wagglers, but that's just me, you know what I mean? These are quite outdated gaming types. So yeah, have a think about it guys. Give me your comments. Do you think, is creativity dead? I don't know. I know there's a lot of indie, you know, makers out there making some amazing games, but in the main it seems that the main companies are just sticking to the tried and tested sort of gaming types. So anyway, I think I have waffled on quite enough. I do apologise for running over as usual. If you're with me to the end of this video, then thanks very much for sticking with it. Excuse me. So that brings about another Friday Waffle. Tomorrow, Saturday, I'm actually going down to, believe it or not, I'm actually going down for a bloody induction. The company I work for has been taken over, and the company that I start with on the 1st of October wants me to go for an induction tomorrow in Newcastle. So that's my Saturday taken care of, which I'm not happy about, but anyway, that's tough shit. These things happen. If you're watching this on Friday guys, have a fantastic weekend. If you're watching this past Saturday, at any time after Saturday, hope you had a great weekend, and my look how tall you've got. And anyway guys, thanks to Dominic Diamond for that one. And as usual, if you enjoy watching it, please hit like. If you want to see more of these videos, please subscribe, that would be fantastic. Give me all your comments guys, and that's it for another Friday Waffle. And as usual guys, thanks for watching.